How many times have you promised yourself you would finally get in shape this year, and then 3 months later found yourself exactly where you started? How many New Year's resolutions have you written down with complete conviction, only to completely forget about them by February? How many business goals have you set with burning passion, only to watch them slip away because life got busy? Here is the brutal truth. You do not have a motivation problem. You do not have a discipline problem. You do not even have a goals problem. You have a systems problem. And until you understand the difference between setting goals and building systems, your dreams will remain exactly what they are, dreams. But here is what most people miss. The most successful people in the world do not just set goals, they build systems that make achieving those goals inevitable. And today, I am going to show you exactly how to do that. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly confident that you would achieve something you set out to do? Not hopeful, not optimistic, but genuinely certain. For most people, that feeling is rare. Because they are trying to build a house without a foundation. They are setting destinations without building the vehicle to get there. They have goals, but no system to achieve them. And this is where everything falls apart. You see, most people think success is about having bigger dreams or stronger willpower. They think if they just want something badly enough, they will somehow find a way to make it happen. But research from Dominican University shows us something fascinating. People who simply write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. But even that is not enough, because writing down your goals is just the first step. The real magic happens when you understand what goals actually are and what they cannot do. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine you want to travel from New York to Los Angeles. Your goal is Los Angeles. That's your destination. It's important because it tells you where you're going and why it matters. But here is what your goal cannot do. It cannot drive you there. It cannot fill your gas tank. It cannot navigate traffic or find alternative routes when the highway is closed. Your goal is like having the address on your GPS, essential but not sufficient. This is where most people get stuck. They think having a clear destination is enough, but a goal without a system is like having a map without a car. You know exactly where you want to go, but you have no way to get there. And this is why so many people feel frustrated and disappointed with themselves year after year. They keep setting the same goals because they never built the system to achieve them. So what exactly is a system? A system is not just a series of habits you repeat every day. That is part of it, but it's much more comprehensive. Think of a system as the complete framework you create to turn your goals into reality. It includes the processes you follow, the environment you create, the people you surround yourself with, the tools you use, and the way you measure progress. It is everything that supports and drives your journey toward your goals. Let me give you a business example. Imagine your goal is to build a company that generates $1 million in revenue. That goal is important because it gives you direction and motivation. But your system is everything else. Your system includes your product development process, your marketing strategy, your sales workflow, your customer service standards, your financial management, your team structure, and your method for tracking and analyzing results. Most importantly, your system recognizes that at different stages, you will need to focus on different components. In the early stages, you might focus intensely on product development and customer acquisition while keeping everything else at a minimum viable level. As you grow, you gradually expand into areas like team building, process optimization, and market expansion. Your system is like having a complete roadmap that shows you not just where you're going, but what to focus on at each stage of the journey. The same principle applies to personal goals. If your goal is to get in shape, your system includes your workout schedule, your meal planning process, your sleep routine, your method for tracking progress, the environment you create to support healthy choices, and your strategy for overcoming obstacles. Your system recognizes that motivation will come and go, but the structure remains consistent. Here is why systems are so powerful.
First, they remove your dependence on motivation. Motivation is like the weather. Sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's stormy. But your system works regardless of how you feel on any given day. When you have a system in place, you don't have to decide whether to work out today. The decision has already been made. The time is blocked in your calendar. Your workout clothes are ready. Your gym bag is packed. The system removes the friction and makes the right choice automatic. Second, systems create compound effects. Every time you follow your system, you're not just making progress toward your goal, you're strengthening the system itself. You are building trust with yourself. You are creating evidence that you are the type of person who follows through. This builds momentum that makes each subsequent action easier than the last. Third, systems are adaptable. Goals can become outdated or irrelevant, but a good system can evolve. If your goal is to run a marathon but you get injured, your goal might need to change. But your system for maintaining fitness and building discipline can adapt to include swimming or cycling instead. The system remains valuable even when the specific goal changes. Now, let me show you how to build an effective system. The first step is to map out all the components that need to work together to achieve your goal. This is like creating a blueprint before you build a house. For any significant goal, there are multiple areas that need attention. The key is to identify what these areas are and understand how they connect to each other.
For a business goal, you might identify components like product development, marketing, sales, operations, finance, and team building. For a health goal, you might identify components like exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and social support. For a learning goal, you might identify components like study time, practice opportunities, feedback mechanisms, resource acquisition, and progress tracking. The second step is to recognize that you cannot optimize everything simultaneously. This is where most people make a critical mistake. They try to excel in every area at once and end up making minimal progress in any area. Instead, successful people understand that different phases require different focus areas. In the early stages of building a business, you might focus 80% of your energy on product development and customer acquisition while maintaining basic operations in other areas. As you gain traction, you might shift focus to scaling your marketing and building your team. The system remains the same, but your focus within the system evolves based on what is most important at each stage. The third step is to create specific strategies for each component of your system. This is where your daily and weekly actions come into play. For each area of focus, you need clear processes that you can repeat consistently. These processes should be specific enough that you could teach them to someone else and they would get similar results. For example, if marketing is your focus area this quarter, your strategy might include creating 3 pieces of content per week, engaging with potential customers on social media for 30 minutes daily, attending 2 networking events per month, and testing 1 new marketing channel every 2 weeks. These are specific, repeatable processes that feed into your larger system. The fourth step is to build measurement and feedback loops into your system. You need to know whether your system is working and where it needs adjustment. This means tracking the right metrics and reviewing them regularly. But here is the key. Do not just measure outcomes. Measure your system performance. If your goal is to lose weight, do not just track the number on the scale. Track whether you followed your workout schedule, whether you stuck to your meal plan, whether you got adequate sleep, and whether you managed stress effectively. These are the inputs that create the output. When you measure and optimize the system, the results take care of themselves. The fifth and final step is to regularly audit and improve your system. Systems are not set and forget. They need regular maintenance and upgrades. Schedule time monthly or quarterly to review what is working, what is not working, and how you can make improvements. This is how you build what researchers call an antifragile system, a system that gets stronger when stressed, rather than weaker.
Now, let me address something important. You might be thinking that building systems sounds like a lot of work, and you are right. It is more work up front than just setting goals. But here's what most people do not realize. You are going to do the work anyway. The question is whether you do it efficiently through a well-designed system or inefficiently through random acts of effort. Think about it this way. If you set a goal to get in shape without a system, you will spend countless hours researching workouts, debating whether to go to the gym today, figuring out what to eat, and starting over every time you have a bad week. All of that is work, and it is the most frustrating kind of work because it does not lead to consistent progress. But when you invest time up front to build a system, you eliminate most of that decision-making and uncertainty. You know exactly what to do each day. You have processes that handle obstacles before they arise. You have metrics that tell you whether you are on track. The work becomes easier and more effective because it is organized and intentional. Here's something else to consider. The most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and professionals are not necessarily more talented or motivated than everyone else, but they all have one thing in common. They have built systems that support their goals. They have created structures that make success more likely and failure less likely. Warren Buffett has a system for evaluating investments. LeBron James has a system for maintaining his physical condition. Taylor Swift has a system for creating and releasing music. These are not accidents. These are carefully designed frameworks that turn goals into reality through consistent execution. The beauty of systems thinking is that it changes your relationship with failure. When you focus only on goals, failure feels personal. You feel like you are not good enough or disciplined enough or motivated enough. But when you focus on systems, failure becomes data. If your system is not producing the results you want, you can analyze which component needs adjustment and make improvements. This shifts you from being a victim of your circumstances to being an engineer of your outcomes. You stop hoping things will work out and start designing systems that make success inevitable. This is the difference between people who achieve their goals once and people who achieve their goals consistently. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Your goals tell you where you want to go, but your systems determine whether you actually get there. The most successful people understand that goals and systems are not competing concepts. They are complementary. Goals provide direction and motivation. Systems provide the structure and process that make achievement possible. So, here's your assignment. Take your most important goal, and instead of just writing it down, create a system around it. Map out all the components that need to work together. Identify which components need your focus right now. Create specific, repeatable processes for those components. Build in measurement and feedback loops, and then commit to running your system consistently. Remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So stop dreaming about where you want to go and start building the vehicle that will take you there. Your future self will thank you for it.